All right, fellas, plenty of conversation around the availability of Matthew Stafford coming into this season. Not that it was rope-a-dope. He's obviously dealing with something, but that looked like full-form Matthew Stafford here in week one.
I mean, it's remarkable, and I know that we have talked for so many years about how underrated Matthew Stafford is, and then he goes and he wins a Super Bowl, and maybe he becomes properly rated. I don't know that he's a first ballot Hall of Famer. If he is, it's well-deserved, right? Maybe it's a second ballot for Matthew Stafford. Anyway, he's going to be donning a gold jacket at some point. And games like today are exactly why. When he's able to go 21 of 29 for 245 passing yards, and really didn't play at all in training camp, right? Yeah. He had like 1 week of training camp, and the rest of the time he was in hyperbaric chambers across Southern California. It is truly remarkable. He even mentioned it, right? He had not worked with Devontae Adams. Puka Nacua is in and out because you're not entirely sure. I come away so impressed by him. And let's also give credit to the team he was playing, right? DeMeco Ryans knows how to coordinate a defense.
Yes.
Right? And they also, the Houston Texans, their offensive coordinator is Nick Caley, who was with the LA Rams. And so this was a game where both teams knew each other incredibly well, right? DeMeco Ryans used to be with San Francisco, so he's been in the NFC West. Sean McVay taught so much to Nick Caley, the offensive coordinator with the Houston Texans. So both of these sides knew each other. So if you took the under, you should have taken the under because it was always going to hit on this because no one was going to be able to score, but Matthew Stafford still produced.
You talked about Matthew Stafford and how well he looked, the rhythm, the chemistry, even though he didn't do anything throughout training camp because of the injury. A lot of that has to do with the head coach and Sean McVay. And Joe, you know I talk about Sean McVay all the time. I think he's the second best coach in the National Football League currently behind Andy Reid. His ability to do more with less has been documented throughout his professional career. So you talk about a quarterback who's missed a lot of time, but week one, he jumps in the saddle like it's November football. You look at the entire landscape of the National Football League, we saw a lot of proven quarterbacks do what week one? Struggle. We saw a lot of proven quarterbacks not have the chemistry, the timing. But when Matthew Stafford, with his skill set, the experience, is being coached by Sean McVay, they jump in the car rolling. They don't have to pat the gas like an old classic car. That car is cranking up immediately, and they're getting on the interstate and moving.
That's with his number one running on and off the field, too. Puka Nacua was in and out of this ball game and still consistency offensively. Pat, what did you see there? And then a thought on Houston as well, whose offense just never got that engine to turn over.
Well, first and foremost, Matthew Stafford has always been one of my favorite quarterbacks because, you know, I had the privilege to go up against him and Calvin Johnson throughout the years. But to see him now with a real football team, with an efficient play caller, with guys who pretty much tailor to his game, that's wired just like him, man, it's a beautiful thing to watch, man, because he is a gamer. He's a guy that's going to go down to the wire. He's a gunslinger, and he believes in his arm ability. And now with him, with one of the best play callers in the league, is only going to continue to traject Matthew Stafford to another level. Because like we all said, he haven't played all preseason.
Yeah, he's been on the show.
But he stepped in right into the starting lineup like he never missed a beat.
Yeah, and then when you look at Houston, I mean, both defenses play exceptionally well. That's why we saw a lower scoring affair. But offensively, the things that we're raving about with the Rams and Matthew Stafford, we didn't see from C.J. Stroud in the Houston Texans. The chemistry wasn't there. It seemed like it was a disconnect. He couldn't get his rhythm going.
Right.
I mean, they were 2 of 9 on third down, 0 for 1 in red zone opportunities. You saw a few turnovers. It just felt like they were still trying to find things out, find their way out. And for the Rams, they're already rolling. This was like a playoff caliber team, a playoff caliber game, because I believe both teams can get to playoffs. But one offense had the rhythm, the other offense didn't have the rhythm. And let's see, can C.J. Stroud get that going in week 2?
And I'd be interested to know how much C.J. Stroud trusted what was in front of him, because the Houston Texans reworked that offensive line this offseason, right? They went ahead and sent away Laramie Tunsil and said, yeah, we'll be a better team without Laramie Tunsil. I'm not entirely sure that's the right call. But they did that, and then they continued to rework it throughout training camp and the preseason. And so while he didn't always look all that comfortable, and I know that the box score is going to say that they had 100 rushing yards, Nick Chubb led the way with 60. I just don't know from a pass blocking standpoint if C.J. Stroud, with the group that has been in front of him the last couple of years and the group that's in front of him now, week 1, against a team that I just mentioned, knows what this offense was wanting to do, was trying to do. I don't know that he felt entirely comfortable and confident back there.
3 sacks allowed by that group in this one, and also a center goes down. We see him on a cart moving pieces in front of C.J. Stroud for Houston. It's an L.A. win. Most scrimmage touchdowns in the last 3 seasons. Kyron Williams leading the way, and His usually come from more than a foot away. 32 touchdowns for Williams.